Welcome to our webcast Self-Service Your IT with au2mator Self-Service Portal. My name is Michael Seidel. I'm Microsoft Cloud and Data Center MVP since 4 years now, and I'm the founder and CEO of au2mator Self-Service Portal. We will start with a small presentation, a short presentation, and then we will dive into the product. We will see how to start requests, how to create requests, and how does all this stuff work together. So our self-service portal is for Microsoft Automation Engine. So you can use it for System Center Orchestrator, System Center SMA, or Azure Automation. And the bad thing is you only need one license. So you can choose what kind of automation engine to use. You can switch over, you can use all three of them. So just feel free. If you have a System Center license, you maybe will use Orchestrator or SMA. If you want to go to the cloud, just use the Azure Automation with only one license. You don't have to pay anything more, anything less. It doesn't matter what you use, just one license and you can use all three of them. Our portal is fully customizable to fit your CI, so you can change colors, you can change your logo, your images. We have redesigned the portal a year ago, and it is fully responsive HTML5, and we have a modern UI and modern design. You will see later in the demo. A lot of customers or interests are asking us, what can I do with your portal? What are the services I can automate or I can provide? So we ask our customers, and we have built this top 12 service lists. And of course, a user onboarding is something you can automate, and you will gain a lot of, you're spending a lot of time with in your daily business to create new users and to offboard new users. If you automate this stuff and you put it in a form with au2mator Self-Service Portal, you will win a lot of time in your IT department. Of course, a set out of office reply, a reset user password, install a software, grant mailbox access, change user details, reboot the server, and so on and so on. So you can do a lot of stuff with automation and with our portal in the front end. So how does all work together? First of all, you need to build your automation. So use Orchestrator, SMA, or Azure Automation to build your runbook, your automation task. We need an initialized data to put in the values from the portal to the runbook. And of course, you can return some data from the runbook to our portal. Then you need to create a service. You configure the questions. We have a lot of question types, for example, LDAP query and SQL query, and so on. You will see them afterwards in the demo. You can configure an approval workflow. So someone needs to approve, and then if the approval has been successful, then the runbook will be triggered. And you can configure a role-based access. So not everyone will see each service. So for example, the user onboarding is limited to users in the human resource department, and a reboot a server is only available for IT ops department. And then the user can start a request. If it's configured, he needs to wait for the approval. Then the automation will be triggered, and the return data from the runbook will be returned to our portal, so the user can see the result. We have something more. You can create announcements to communicate with your end users. You can manage your team. You can see and manage your user details. And we are fully Active Directory integrated. So we have no staging database, no other database you need to maintain. We just use and read all this information from Active Directory live. So no caching, no staging, live from the system. Now we are switching to the demo environment. Here you are seeing our front page. Here's the announcement. We will see that a little bit later. And just we are starting to start a request. So I think that's the easiest way to get an overview of our portal, what is capable of. First of all, we have to select for which user we want to start. We can start it for myself or for one of our team members. The reason why to start a request for a team member, we will see in a few minutes. First of all, I want to start a request for my own. Then I can see what kind of services are there, and I want to start a new user request because a new employee is coming, a new colleague, and he will start on Monday. So the user name is Yan Jin, and he is located in Tokyo, Japan, and the manager will be myself in this case. So I'm selecting me, and as our entry date, it is on Monday. So for explanation, first name and last name is a simple string field, so just put in a value and that's it. The location, the manager, is something special. So as you see, there are some information, the location, the country, the postal code, and the street. And if we take a look in our Active Directory, you will see the same values here. So we are reading all this information live from Active Directory. So the location question is an LDAP query where we get the information from the organization unit and present it to in our portal. So you don't have to maintain double data or something like this. Just grab your information from that point already existing. That's the easy one. Also the same for the manager. It's a simple LDAP query to present all the Active Directory users. That's it. If you click finish, our runbook will be triggered. It should be this one. And I think, yeah, it's already finished. So as you see, it just runs 1 second. If we take a look at Tokyo and do a refresh, yeah, our new user is here. We have filled in some information, the address, and of course the manager. So that was our first request we have started. Something more, start a request. So now an example why it is important to start a request for a different user. For example, Clemens Meyer was on holiday. I think he is located in Vienna. Yes, he was on holiday. After 3 weeks of vacation, he forgot his password. He's coming in on Monday, he's trying to log in, he types it 3 times wrong, and then the user is disabled. As I said, our portal will read the information immediately from Active Directory, so if I refresh my team list, Clemens Meyer has a red dot. So the reason is the user is disabled and now it is red, so that's the dot will just reflect the user status. Green is okay and red is disabled. So now Clemens is coming to me, his team leader, and he's asking me to reset his password. And yes, I can. So I select Clemens Meyer. I'm looking for the reset password. And now I have the selection. Do I want to enter a custom password? Or do I want to let Orchestrator or my automation choose a password for me? I want to enter a custom password, and that's a good example on dynamic forms we are providing. So on the selection of one question, an additional question will be visible or disabled. So you can build dynamic forms related to the user entry. So we enter password and we click finish. The runbook should be triggered immediately. Yeah, set password, it is running. It is finished. If you take a look in Active Directory and do a refresh, Clemens Meyer is now enabled. And if you take a look at my team, Clemens Meyer is already also enabled here. And now Clemens can work. It was an effort of 1 minute without calling the IT department, without making a ticket and waiting and waiting. It was solved the problem within a minute. So, and that's the reason why it is good to make automation, to let users do self-service help, and yeah, you will have a lot of happy users, and you will have more time in your IT department for more important stuff. One more example, also with Clemens and Gerhard Mahler. These are my 2 team members, and at the moment there are human resource manager and in the department human resource, both of them. Now both of them want to join a different department. So how can I do this? I will select Clemens Meyer and Gerhard Mahler here, so I can select multiple users. And there is a service called Update User Properties we have built. I want to update the organization details, and the job detail is now Marketing Manager. And the department is Marketing. What is happening if I click Finish? The runbook will be triggered twice. The runbook will be triggered twice. It's this runbook, and as you see, 1 and 2, both for 2 seconds, have updated my user properties. Marketing Manager, and Gerhard Mahler is also Marketing Manager. So you can run a request for multiple users, and for each user the runbook will be triggered. So that's easy. So without any access to my Active Directory, without calling the IT department, I can update my team and the information of my team without dealing with my IT department, without using their time, and of course with a much quicker result. That's the idea. One last thing is, we have on my demo environment, we have an System Center Config Manager to deploy our clients and install software, and we have some applications in our catalog. Of course, in your environment there will be much more. As I said, this is a demo environment. It just have a few applications. Please remember these 4 applications, and also please remember the comments. So Adobe Photoshop costs 500 euro per year. A screenshot application is cost null euro. So I want to start the request, and I want to start it for myself. And I want to, it's in the client service, I want to request the SCCM software. What I can select here, I choose my software, and tada, it's the same list like we have it in our config manager. And why is this working? Because we have an SQL question type, so it directly gets the information from the config manager database. That's it. If I change Adobe Photoshop, the command to, give me a second, it costs 600 euro per year. Okay. If I go back, if I close this one, if I restart my request for myself, next, client service, SCCM software, next. Now I select the software. It is finished. Oh, it's not finished. Now it's finished. So once again, start the request, myself, next, client software, SCCM, next. Now select the software, and now it costs 600 euro. So you don't have to maintain any double data. Just use your system like you do it now, and put in a front end, a self-service portal to help you and your end users to do self-service. Just finish the request. So we select the Photoshop, and we select the computer. That's an LDAP query against our Active Directory, and we click finish. What is happening in our runbook? The computer will put in this collection. So if you take a look at the Photoshop, we have an active deployment and a collection Adobe Photoshop. The runbook will read the application, will get the collection and put in the computer in the collection. And who is familiar with SCCM, this can take some minutes. So we will not wait for this, but in the end, the computer will be a part of the collection, and then Adobe Photoshop will be installed. And of course, you can configure this service to make an approval before, so the manager needs to approve, and then the runbook will be triggered. Okay, so we have seen how to start the request. Now we want to see how to build a request. For example, we will build a user onboarding. We saw before this form. We see the runbook, which is providing some kind of some initialized data, and that's the important stuff. Remember 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 custom initialized data. The target user ID is an built-in initialized data. This will not be transformed to a question, but 1, 2, 3, 4 questions should be coming up. So we build a new request, user onboarding 2. A description. We will select a service group, just a grouping of our services. It is an admin service. You can configure a service with a special language. So we're providing now at the moment 4 languages. The runbook, that's the most important stuff here. Select the runbook, so au2mator, services, and user onboarding, that's my runbook. And now we get all the initialized data and build our questions. So we have given name 1, last name 2, location 3, manager 4, and the entry date 5. So that's the same we saw here, excluding the target user ID. And that's it. Just configure a nice question. So that's the initialized data on top. And here you can make a nicely named. So provide first name. Is it required? Yes or no? What kind of type is it? So that's the most important stuff here. So is it a text? Is it a drop-down list? Is it a yes or no? A date picker, a password, a LDAP query, or a SQL query you saw before. So you just, if you want it to be a SQL query, just configure your SQL server, database, your query, and is it a Windows authentication or yes or no? So easy it is. So it is a text, and you can make a regular expression, a validation message, and a background text for each question. So that's not related to any type, so that's for each question. And you saw it for the password reset. You can configure a visibility. So you can say the last name is on a condition if the first name contains or equals or not equals whatever. So that was the password reset we saw before. If I check the click box, I want to enter custom password, then an additional question is coming up. So you can build a really nice dynamic form. That's for the questions. You also can configure the approver. You can configure if it's a single approve or deny or a percentage. So I need 60% of this user and this user and this user and the manager. And the manager is a dynamic user. So if I am starting a request, my manager will be put in this place. If some of my team members is starting a request, I am the manager, so I put in place as a requester. So that's dynamically, and on each start of the request, we will go to the Active Directory and put in the manager and place it in the approval. The security, you can limit a service to a domain group. So in my example, I think we have some domain users, domain guests, domain admins. So just configure a group and limit it to these members. So the only members in this group will see the service. Other users will not even see the service. So that's the idea. So every user which is logging into our portal will see maybe a different list of services available related to his memberships. That's it. That's the way how to build a request. We will not save it in this way because we already have one. Just as an example how to use it for Azure. And here are my runbooks. So, and just remember there are 4 runbooks configured. Now we go back, and our important one is the calculation. So Now I want to make a new service. It is Azure Calc new. We also can make a service group in this. Now we select the runbook, and the important thing is here, switch to the Azure runbooks, click search, and that's the same like we saw before. We're just retrieving all the runbooks, and you see 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4. So the same list like in our portal. We choose the calculation, and then we see we have 2 questions, A and B. The runbook is very simple. It is just doing a sum up of those 2 values. So both of them are integers. We save it. We just want to start this request for myself, of course. It is custom service. It was Azure Calc new. Next, we have 2 questions. Now we enter 3 and 7 and click finish. What is happening now? We are going to the runbook, to Azure, and trying to start the runbooks. And if we go to the jobs, we should see, yeah, the runbook is starting. If we do a refresh, it is still starting. I think it should switch to the process of running, a proceeding. And that is related, yeah, now it's running. And that is related to the cloud, and now it's completed. Sometimes it can take some more seconds or less seconds related to the Azure cloud. But in the end, the request is started. We can take a look at our requests. So the end user can take a look if the runbook has been successful or not. So that is the request history. You can click on the information button to get the runbook status. It is green. Green is always good. I can see more details. And we had 3 and 7, and the sum up is 10. So Azure is calculating right, and we are happy. So that's the easy way how to make a form provided by an Azure automation runbook. We have something more. You can also manage your team. You saw this before on starter request, so that's the same users. You see also the status of the user, and you can take a look at the details of the user. This is fully customizable. So if you want to show some other values, you can configure this easily to see, for example, the department or the location or something like this. So I can see my team members. I can take a look what kind of address, in which street they are, something like this, and I can change the values with a service we already saw before. How this team will be built. One thing is just the manager of the user. So for Clemens, my example, I saw in the back, I am the manager. So, and that's the easy way. So I'm the manager, it is my team. So that's the reason why I'm seeing all these guys here. We also can make it in a different way. For example, if you see the configuration of the team, we have 3 options. The manage by attribute, so I am the manager, it is my team member. Group based, so I will create a group, I put in the users in it, and I am the manager of the group, so that is my team. And we can use both of them. So it is related to Active Directory configuration, how you want to build your team, but in the end you can maybe use every single way to build your team related the manage by attribute or group based or both. We also saw it before, the announcement. We have one active announcement which is configured here. Azure is down. It is very simple. Just put in the title announcement a date range, so the announcement will be active in this date range. It is active, and you can have a description, and you can also configure a different language. So we can do an announcement for English, German, Russian, or French people. And if an announcement is active and is fitting to the language, it will be shown up on the front page here. So there's a way to communicate with your end users. And yeah, feel free in which way you want to use it. You can tell them that something is down, or there is a planned maintenance, or maybe you will tell them that there's a new service. For example, they can now reset the password on their own. So that's a good way to communicate without sending massive emails to your end users. That's it with our demo environment. We have just 2 slides left for our presentation. Just a few words about the licensing. We have 4 different licensing types. Every license has the same feature. We are just counting your active Directory users. Yes, active Directory users. So we are not counting your disabled users, and we are not counting only the users which are using the portal. We are counting each single user which is active in your environment, because you can manipulate all of these users. Of course, the people who are using the portal as to start a request can be much more can be much more different, but you can manipulate each of them. So we are counting all active Directory users. If you buy a license, you have 1 year of support and maintenance. So the first year you can talk to our support, or you get all the new releases, and you can then continue the maintenance and support. You are not there's no need, so you can use our latest portal without maintenance, but you will be not allowed to get any support or any new releases. So that's the idea behind the maintenance. And take care, you need a SQL server for our portal. We have a small database we need to store. You can use the free SQL Server version, yes, it's no problem, that's enough. Or you can use an existing SQL Server license, but take care that you have a license for it. It is not included in our portal. Some last words. You can try our portal for free. Just follow the URL. If you have any questions, just contact us over our website, per mail, Twitter, Facebook, something like this. There are a lot of plenty ways to contact us. If you have any questions, if you want to have a demo, if you're looking for a partner, we have a huge partner network over the world now, all around the world. So if you're looking for a partnership to help you install our portal or doing runbook automation, just contact us. We will provide you with all the information. At the end, thank you very much and enjoy your day. Bye.